In this video, we'll look at the steps necessary to provide access to Zoho CRM to your N8N workflow using oAuth. All right, so just kind of quick recap. First off, the flow that we're looking at, pretty simple flow. Sets up for webhook, meaning that your front end, your websites can sort of like send information into this flow. So in this case, it is built for a landing page that's collecting leads. So the landing page makes a call to this webhook, sends the information in. It contains information such as the email, the first name, the last name, aka things needed, right, to create a lead in your CRM. Once that information hits there, it'll hit the Zoho CRM node, create the lead within Zoho CRM. It'll then send out the Slack message if everything is fine, and then return a success message back to your front end. All right. And then also, if it does fail, right, we then go down this failure path, right? So what we're focused on in this video is actually creating and configuring, I should say, the Zoho CRM create a lead like node. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and click into it. And as you can see, just right off the bat, you're going to be asked to select the credential to connect with. Right now, as you can see, I'm using oAuth 2 API. It's already configured. And in this video, we'll look at how you actually create that configuration. Okay, so first things first, I'm just going to click the dock here. I'm going to click create new credential. And you're going to see that I'm presented with an OAuth redirect URL, authorization URL, an access token URL, right? And I'm going to be asked for a client ID and a client secret. Pretty much the process is getting this client ID and this client secret from Zoho and then providing Zoho this OAuth redirect URL. And that's pretty much it, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to name it because you do want to name your connections. So, because I will delete it after. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually click on Open Docs because it's actually pretty cool that N8N has some pretty really good documentation and they will actually walk you through it. You just pretty much need to know what to look at, right? So just off the bat here, you're looking at this and more specifically, down here is what you want, right? So what you want to do is register an application with Zoho. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to click that. I'm going to open up that window. Right? And then I'm gonna click on server based because it says it right here, right? So it says server based applications. Okay. So what we need to do right here is click on this link, go to the Zoho API console. I'm gonna log in. So I'm just gonna pause here for a second while I log in. Okay, at this point I'm in. So I'm just gonna go ahead and click on add a client. And again, the directions said it very clear. Server based applications. I'm gonna click that. I'm gonna create a name. Again, I just like to stay consistent with my names, right? So if I'm calling it Zoho Video Demo here, I'm just going to go over here and I'm going to call it the same thing. Now, the homepage URL is going to be here, right? So if we go back to Zoho, you see we have the OAuth redirect URL. Just want to click and copy it. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to click here in the authorize redirect URIs, and I'm going to use kind of like the same thing for my homepage URL, just pretty much this, right? N8N Microsoft Platform Factory.com. Again, this is my own self-hosted N8N instance. It might look a little bit different if you're on a shared service, but for the most part, this should hold. And then I'm just going to click create. Something like that. Okay, so let's go video demo. Right, cool. And at that point, I'm now creating a new application, right? And then what I do, I go back to N8N right now, and actually I will need the client ID. So let me just kind of grab that. Completely forgot to grab that. So I'm going to click on that. When I click on that, I go to client secret, right? I'm going to copy these, client ID and client secret. I'm going to copy these, bring them over here. Client ID. Client secret. And I'm just going to connect to my account. And that should come up and say credentials successfully created. And then you'll see, hey, go ahead and accept, right? So you just go ahead and click accept. And now I have a connection. and now N8N can actually connect to my CRM. And this makes things so much easier. So I'm just going to go and I'm just going to close that out now once I do that. And now that's available in my drop down, so I can actually select that connection. And once I do that, I have a myriad of different operations I can actually do against my CRM. It's just a super beautiful thing. Now I can actually drop the node in here and I can do so many things. So let me, for example, show you dropping a new node in here. So I'm just going to go in and click Zoho CRM. And you can see I have access to all of these, right? Account actions, contact actions, deal actions, invoice actions, lead actions, right? Product actions. I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on and on, right? And this sort of like puts your CRM at your fingertips in terms of programmability and being able to do so many things using automation, even tapping on AI into there. So the number one thing is you do need to create credentials to connect to Zoho CRM. And I just walked you through in 5 minutes what it takes to do that. So pretty simple. And again, if you do have any questions about this, be sure to reach out to me via email, via any one of my socials. And hopefully this helped.